Let's see what's in the Post Standard today, Daddy. Oh, look, Wiseman's pool's worth 20 times more than the house. And then look, $4.5 million project, right? Then over here, Daddy, it says it's 4.5 for the pool. Daddy, I'm confused. What is it? Like, why would they even write it this way? Because they're superior to you and I. They think differently, and that's okay. They're superior to us. This is a sign of an intelligent woman, two women, Linda Rausch and her, Michelle. So superior. Nobody would ever write anything like this because they couldn't, because they're not trained to. Mr. Wiseman said the house was in disrepair, but you had to throw that in there, and you know what that means. The preservationists said it could be repaired, so Mr. Wiseman is an ignorant man. That's how she wrote that. So let's do the same for her. You would think that Mrs. Michelle Breidenbach, would have done a better job, but she doesn't have the education of a normal person to write this in a normal way, right? But she lacks intelligence. But she lacks intelligence. But she could have did a better job. But she lacks intelligence or common sense. So powerful. I don't even know what the hell. Can you imagine her writing about energy or 81 or that kid that died, right? Yeah, I wonder how that was fucked up. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not going to say that anymore. She's so powerful. Very powerful. Very powerful. Very powerful people in Skinny Atlas. Very powerful.
Okay, all right. To have a wider array of experiences at the table as we grapple with these problems is going to help us come up with a wider array of options to address them. If you have the same people sitting at the table with similar backgrounds, similar experiences, you are going to have a very narrow range of options. That is why we're trying to broaden the aperture.
Cleantopia Mascara, Ultramarine Black from CoverGirl.
Tonight, the high-stakes speech just a short time from now for President Biden. Also, the United flight, what came off the plane after takeoff. And the images just in tonight, the national...
Yes. Okay. So what we're going to try to do here at ABCD World News is to present a different narrative and just to show the facts and just go from there. We're going to start off with energy at first, and we're going to go from there. And then a lot of people say, Joe, how'd you get involved? Why'd you go undercover in your own party? Well, one of the reasons I went undercover was Dan Maffei wanted to get rid of the medical device tax, and he wanted to substitute the funding for that by taking away subsidies for oil, by not knowing anything about energy, okay, what was going on there. And I said, there's a million other things that you could tax, and that would raise the same amount of money for that, and that would be makeup, right? Makeup for women and men. So you could tax that, because I think that's a $100 billion a year industry. So do your research. Why do us Democrats immediately go towards hating oil companies? And so that's what this... So, and then the second thing is that we followed around, me and Dave followed around Colleen Dankin. I got this in the mail, and it says here that I was laid off when Colleen was 12. 300 jobs were eliminated. See how this triggers me? Oh, hey, what a bunch of assholes. See, the system's against him, capitalism's bad. He lost his job. But it doesn't tell me anything about the character of the man. Did he get a job working at doing brakes or muffler? Did he study? Did he get tools? Did he go out on his own? Did he survive on his own? Tell me that. Don't just tell me that hate, hate, hate. And then the next one was with Dana Balter, And when I asked her, would you want to mine for certain minerals that would allow us to move forward in clean energy, they said no. And then we won't talk about them driving an SUV to our fundraiser that we had, and that they wouldn't answer a question called, and I'll get into this story later about the Spafford Democratic Party, when someone told me don't ask energy questions, and they didn't know anything about it. I followed Dana Balter around and talked to her staff. I said, the world produces 50 billion metric tons of CO2, right, every year. How much does the United States produce of that? They said 48 billion, 49 billion metric tons a year. Almost all of it. All of it. Guess what the real answer is? Do you know? Take a guess. I'm not going to tell you. Take a guess. They didn't even know. Seems to me that the OCDC and even my local Democratic leaders here in Spafford, Dave and John, seems to me they would want us, the voters, like they said in the email that I can show you, to make sure that the people that we pick are well educated, or we help educate them. But I guess that didn't work out because you don't even care, right? Right? You don't think you should have to care. Well, if they're wrong or it's not that important, Joe, as long as we get the right people in there. Do you really think Dana Balter was the right person? Do you really think Dan Maffei was the right person? Do you really think Cannoli was the right person? Who picked these people? Huh? Think. People at the OCDC? That's a democracy? Why can't we, like, start a conversation and see what these people actually know about Congress? Okay? Let's test them. So we'll find out. Maybe I'm going to run. Maybe I'll run. Okay. I got to go and I'm hiding out here. About DEI, right? Don't you want more? Cut to that lady at DEI right here. Cut to that. Check this out. We're going to cut to that one on there. And so, of course, and then after, so I snuck in Cannoli's office, and I'm going to tell you more about that later and how I dealt with the DCCC and the guy who had a master's degree in his program. I thought was, you should know about how they do certain things. Efficient media as far as to help Democrats learn more about the facts. Because that's going to be crazy for 2024, right? Okay, I'm going to do my interview. That's how I did my interview with David Muir in ABC News. So think of this, watch this. Promises, promises. Right here, Trump officials and gray wolf protections. Oh, let it flow, Trump says. Oh, he's so bad, he's going to let the water, he's wasting water, what an asshole. Yeah, you people buy cars that are so hard to fucking wash the wheels, right? Wash your wheels in your car and your Subarus, okay? Then here, how to create a more efficient city, right? Hell with that. Hell with that. I want a more efficient media, more efficient post-standard. So one of the things that really ticked me off was that having a meeting, talking about what articles you're going to do and who you know. So they did this. Wiseman, who I could care less about, pools worth 20 times worse. Okay. And so it says right here, $4.5 million lakefront project. Okay, and it says here that Weitzman said he did not want to talk about the price of the pool. So why didn't she just hang up and just say, hey, nice talking to you? Good morning, officer.
How are you?
Very good. Please don't look at me so angrily. You can go talk to them, and I'm going to be going home soon. Just say, hey, nice talking to you and move on. It's not even fucking important. Then someone to say to me, well, why is it important to you? Because someone actually called me up and said, what's going on with this guy? As if it's like not evil that he's rich or anything, but more or less you're sending the wrong message. Well, isn't that a message we Democrats want to send, right? Isn't that the message we want to send to these rich people? Hate them. That's what you fucking did, lady. Okay? Now here's the house. And if you... So now you may say to me, why is it so important to you? Well, Neuralink says, I'm going to show you why that's important. Because if it's that bad, that bad, then what? How did they do energy? How did they do the energy industry and the Republicans and the Democrats when it comes to energy, knowing the energy facts, right? That, you know, and there's the house right there. Why didn't they put a picture of the house in it? All they did was put this in. You can't even. The time and money. Now you may say to me, Joe, what should they have put in the paper? You know what they should have put there instead of this right here? Instead of wasting this time and whatever, you should have put this right here. You should have put this right here. You know, so we can maybe get a Tesla car factory. I mean, New York State can't have a car factory anywhere. You can't ask them. And remember, did anyone ever put in the paper that Tesla was having a competition for people to get involved in helping to design a small subcompact car for poor people or people that don't have a lot of money? Isn't that important, Democrats? Huh? What do you want, everyone to drive a fucking SUV? Is that what you want? Right? And that's what you put there instead of this? Fine. Right? If Schumer wants to do this, that's great. Then if he wants to do that, then why doesn't he get together with Tesla and bring a plant to New York City? Right? Why can't you bring one to New York City? Why not? Why not? Why can't you bring a factory to New York City? Right? Right? Or does he hate Tesla because they don't have the UAW, right? Or it doesn't follow Biden's plan? So think of this. He wants electric cars, but he doesn't get involved in Tesla for the last 10 years, right? And he wants to get off, he blames everything on fossil fuels. And that's what you put there instead of this, right? Instead of that, right? Instead of that. Put here. That's it. Last week, President Trump signed an executive order declaring a national emergency. This should have been on there instead of Adam's house. Who gives a shit about the house? But you didn't say anything about that. But you actually spent time telling me about Trump. Oh, he's gonna look at it. Oh, mommy, daddy, look at, I hate Trump. What a fucking asshole he is with the water. That's what you know you're doing that. And then when I came to your house to interview you one time, you called the cops on me, right? And you wonder why we get pissed off. Like Carville says, take it back. You know, and I got to do all this just to make sure you don't this year, 2024. Let's see how you do things. And you know, instead, and then of course, what's outrageous is that, you know, here you are. Here's the Post Standard. Here's the Post Standard. Oh, full page ad for themselves, right? Full page ad for themselves. Full page ad for themselves. Full page ad for themselves. You know, new and improved. That's not new and improved. You know, another ad for themselves. Another ad for themselves. All for themselves. You know what they ought to do? Here's a graph. Put a graph right there. You know, oil consumption, so you can see energy. Put that. It's free. Instead of that. Okay? Here's a list of refineries in the United States. Why don't you just print that just so people know what it really takes to, so Pelosi and Taylor Swift can fly all around the country. Who maintains these things? You know how hard it is to maintain these things? Oh, then over here, why don't you put this graph in here and on the true things of CO2 in the world? Oh, no, you don't do that. Okay? And then, this is what you ought to put right here. Put right here. You ought to put this in the paper. Put this. Instead of this. Okay? Because you're so great. New and improved. Put this. I want you to put this here. Tell everyone in Syracuse, black, white, brown, show them where they're getting their fucking oil from. Show it. Put it on there. Do something like this. You know, and again, what do you people do? This is what I do. I read shit like that. Boom, read that one. Why we hate the oil company, read that one. Blood and oil, read that one. Common ground, that was bullshit. Your choice, hazardous materials. Wisdom of my neighbor, Lukens, okay? Hillary Clinton. Edward, this guy. Positively American with Schumer, okay? take it back. Remember that? And then him, of course, you know who he is. Brain or oil on the brain. Oil's endless bid. Okay, the tyranny of oil. Reckless. Gusher of lies. Overhaul. Okay, overhaul. And everything else. Okay, all this. And all this work that I did, right? Studying the facts about energy. And when I go to a Democratic meeting, they disrespect. We don't want to talk about energy because I'm just a puppet, right? I'm just a fucking puppet, and I'll show you that on some of the features that are going to come. How badly Democrats treat people who know more than them when it comes to energy. Because I like studying this. Okay, but I learned a lot in life, more than you motherfuckers. Look at the cars you drive. I'm smart enough not to drive a car like that. Okay, because I see the circumstances, the contemporary involvement of your behavior on everybody else. Okay, now did you read these? And yet you people tell me not to ask questions on federal land? Huh? I know everything about that. But let me tell you what really happened, and then I should shut up, right? I went to a party. Well, we had a party. We hosted it. We put it on. And these three women asked me, Joe, do you know where New Zealand is? As if I'm stupid, right? I know where New Zealand. I can tell you what they fucking export. Okay? And they didn't expect that. That was my first sign of, holy fuck, man. You're blaming. I mean, look at it's not, men aren't the only problem. You did that to humiliate someone. And I know where every country is, and I know what every country produces in oil, what they import and export. You know what I mean? And you can't even change it. And that's what you did to me. You know, talk about, I know what it's like to be a minority, brother. Okay, enough of that. We're going to try to have another good voters club before 2024. See if we can find a place to have a party that invites both Democrats and Republicans, like we did last time. The Democratic Party in Spafford only had a party for themselves, right? And then they told me don't ask energy questions. So this has got to change. It's got to change. It shouldn't even be that way with people that have a college education. So you can see all their bullshit here. So I'm going to clean it up and clean up all this. And I'm going to get back in touch with, I hear it's coming in right now. Wait a minute. I got it. Okay. I got to go right now. We're going to have another production meeting. I'm going to be meeting with ABCD World News so we can really get together on this. Yep, okay. Yep, what's going on in 2024? We're going to try to make news as digestible as possible and to change their work. We strive to keep readers informed of major national and international news. But as you can recognize, it's a challenge on one page. Now, you and I know that it's not that it's true or false, but they got multiple pages that they could use. Okay, we just did that, like taking apart a Tesla motor or taking apart a Tesla car. I can see the defects, and this is one. You can't escape it. Okay, and it says our preference would be to do it all. We can't. So we make choices that we hope serve local readers best. But you don't, because it says our priority would be to do it all. Well, you can. You have pages and pages, and especially the last movie that I made, that you just advertise and waste all that ink on it that's just thrown out. You've got to be responsible for that. You got to do better. But yet you... And here's an article that they wrote, and it says right down here. This is how biased they are. President Bush should strong-arm American automakers, which are moving too slowly in the hybrid vehicle market. Strong-arm them. What? Sad. Oh, look at all the ads in the Syracuse, in the Syracuse. See the Syracuse post office. The Syracuse. And then look at this, they got Face Off, the Telluride. You know, I mean, what's this thing? You know, look at it. Who would even drive that? Who would even drive that? Who would even want one of those? Okay. So he helped advertise all that crap, don't they? Oh, and here's another one of their ads. Okay, they run the ads. SUV, 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 daddy. Educate yourself. And what's it say right here from Carville? Educate yourself. And then check this out. Check this out. This guy right here, he says right here, we have oil reserves and wells in Texas bush country, Oklahoma. See how he throws that satire in it because he learned it from the Post Standard. Louisiana and Alaska, all of which is refined and shipped to Russia and Japan. Okay? And then it says the sheeps in the America that we are dependent on foreign oil from Kuwait and Arab states. They have been doing the same thing with corn and wheat. Okay, this is in right there. This is in Syracuse. Now look at this, Daddy. Oh, what's that? Huh? Do you see American oil right there? Do you see America there at all? Huh? Do you? Do you see any of that? America back then, did you see any of that? Okay? Do you see any of that? You know? And so people write that in there, and the people, oh, it's their opinion, yeah, but how'd they get so stupid? Those are the people reading? Really? Oh, okay. Okay. Like it says here, pay attention, get involved, vote wisely. Well, let's try that this year, okay? Let's try that. Okay, but I just hope they really appreciate me at ABCD News. I know I'm not as good looking as Dave, and I know that doesn't give me any white supremacy. It doesn't give me any access. Can you imagine
Try to
that?
do
Oh
the best
yeah,
I
come
can.
on,
What's
let's
in
put
here,
that in the
but too
front
much.
page. Yeah, can you imagine that? Who would think of putting this on the fucking fray page? Who would think of that? Oh, Trump officials, but no, you should have put rare earths right there. Right there. Oh, yeah, there you go. Start that process. And then you should have put this motherfucker in there. What's that? Oh, rare earth elements. See this right here? I brought that. I brought that to the Democratic meeting in Spafford, and I was ridiculed for it because, I was bringing in, I'm a puppet, right? This was 9 years ago, right? Look at it. Turned out to be true, huh? No respect. No respect. All they think about is who Trump fucked and all the social programs, which are good. But you better think about reality in all your SUVs that you drive there. Check this out on us Democratic women, right? Us Democrats, we're just perfect. I'm trying to educate our woman driving a Jeep, right? Oh, there's another woman right there driving a luxury Infiniti, right? Another woman. Oh, look at this, another white woman. Oh, look at that, driving her, or it looks like an Expedition by Ford. And who's this? Oh, that's Schwarzenegger's wife, right there. Yep, that's her. And then, of course, we have other people. This lady here has a Lexus. Of course, there's racism in America, but she has a Lexus. And then here's another lady driving a big SUV, as you can see, filling up. So what we decided to do is that, and then, what's also funny is, remember this here, Jeff Guy, New York teacher. He delivers a Democratic speech, right? And it says down here, look at him. I drive my Ford, and my wife drives her minivan, two fuel inefficient vehicles, right? And then they're bitching down here, saying, so here they're promoting hate. One of the bills by the Republicans would have given tax breaks to the giant, oil companies that are already making record profits, same thing over and over and over again, and would have stood up to the foreign countries, who are they, racist here, that produce the oil and charge us way too much. Think of that, spoiled. And see, this is where all this entitlement came from, is us Democrats. Think of that. This guy is completely ignorant of the whole contemporary energy in America. Okay? And that's them, okay? And then how about this guy here? Now you got to ask yourself, did the person in Spafford, my own town, did they read these books and more? Huh? Did they do all this research? Yet they tell me, don't ask questions on federal land, as if us Democrats have the conclusive answer. And who are we to challenge our own party? That's what they said. That's what you humans told me. Right? Don't ask questions, Mr. Vecchio, because you're stupid. Right? That's what you did. And then you don't think it, I want to talk to your kids. I want to see how you raised your kids. Okay? And how much they take from society. Right? And you know more than me. And you're going to tell me to shut up. Wrong. I'm sorry, but here's how stupid us Democrats are. Look at this. Mr. Bush, he has photographed holding hands in a more than friendly but less than gay way with Saudi crown prince. Right? Right there. Right there. Right? But who just did that? Biden. Right? Then it comes down here and it says what? Oh, look. The Bush Republican energy problem can be summed up this way. Suck up all the energy you can. Suck up to the big oil companies, right? Just like that Jeff guy said, the Democrat said. And then suck up to the Saudis. Did you hear what I just read? And you don't really expect me to follow men or an organization that talks like this? Right? So wouldn't me being at the bottom up like Pelosi and Maxine Waters says, wouldn't I question the white men that run the Democratic Party in my town? Do they understand what I just read? And do they see that as being childish? And if that represents our energy policy, then why shouldn't I not bring it up at a local meeting when I'm told, well, this is just for local politics? No, but we choose and are involved in picking a congressman. And like Balter says, what happens nationally affects what happens locally. And what happens locally is what happens nationally, right? But because you're not involved in it and you don't like to get involved in it, why are you denying other people? I mean, read your minutes.
I'd like to tell Maria Morelli and the people, the other women at the Post-Standard
how
and the men.
Democrats only want to drive small fuel
Don't
efficient
pretend to
cars,
know
that
it
we're
all.
only making
Can you
small
explain
fuel efficient
this?
cars that we don't have to drill in Alaska. And then there's one over
Explain
here
that, I
that
don't
says we
get
should
it.
be drilling in Alaska, for our natural
You don't,
gas, right? So it says
You didn't
all
print
that,
any of our cartoons.
increasing
But,
fuel efficiency.
But anyways,
Democrats, preach about, we tend to sneer at people who drive SUVs because but yet they do it. They do it, right? Right? They do it.
right? Yeah. But we can't drill our way out of this, right? So the Sierra Club, it's like printing something there, right up to here. Why did they print that? Oh, because so people will know, don't be fooled by the bad oil companies. But let's look what the oil companies are up against. Up against. Saudi Crown Prince, pilots to Asia. Russia, Saudis look to boost ties. Saudis seek closer ties with Beijing. This was years ago, before the war. New England struggles to meet energy needs. Why is Russia in Boston Harbor, right? Because, they didn't plan their pipelines there. But we got a lot of sunshine there for solar and wind projects, right? So that's what happened. That's how arrogant the environmentalists are. This is what actually happened, right? You thought all those pipelines were bad and natural gas was bad. And then by here, look at that. China's oil refinery set world. So because of that, wouldn't you want to do whatever you can to make sure America has enough fuel? Because you saw all the women, right? You saw all the women driving those SUVs, right? Who is the number one predictor?
Standard will understand this one right here, right? This is just what they teach their students. They can't even break away from it. But it says here, we strive to keep the readers informed of major national and international news, but as you can recognize, it is a challenge on one page. One page. Now remember that. One page. One page. All they have is one page. Maria and everyone out there, explain this. One page. You say you only have one page for the news. That's important.
Okay, like the reality of energy in the world, right? Oh, you don't have any room, right? New, look at that, new and improved. Here's another full page ad. We are real news. Come on, I mean, isn't that basically not lying? It's unethical. You know that's not true. One page, and why would you waste your ink on that? Look at the ink, that's fossil fuels. But why wouldn't you put a graph there to educate people about the facts so they can vote better and have more control? It's called a democracy. The majority of people want to drill on federal lands. And you tell us the majority of people want abortion. Good. Who cares? Okay? And this is what you do. You're a fraud. And then it comes right over to here. Right over there. What's that say right there? The Post Standard. Who can you trust? And then you got that, right? And then why don't we just come right over here to this, right there. Don't pretend to know it all. But no wonder. This is the stupidest cartoon. We'll show some of our cartoons in a minute. You'll see that our cartoons that they don't print. But what does this mean?
Now in dramatic ultramarine black. Cleantopia mascara, ultramarine black. From CoverGirl.
Tonight, the high-stakes speech just a short time from now for President Biden. Also, the United flight, what came off the plane after takeoff. And the images...